Say hello to the first IPO of FY25, Bharti Hexacom. It's also going to be the first IPO from the Bharti Group in over a decade. The last one was the listing of Bharti Infratel way back in 2012. Bharti Infratel later got renamed as Industars. Now let's get to the details about this IPO. It opens on the 3rd and ends on the 5th of April. That's a Friday. The price has been set between 542 to 570, which means at the upper end, the market capitalization of this company will be 28,500 crore. Now, this is a company which is promoted by Bharti Airtel. Airtel holds about a 70% stake in the company, but they do not plan to sell any of their stake in the IPO. So who's going to be selling? Well, the seller is the Government of India. It's a Government of India entity called TCIL, which stands for Telecommunications Consultants India Limited. Now, they have about a 30% stake in the company and they are planning to sell half of it. In number terms, it means TCIL has 15 crore shares in Bharti Hexacom and they want to sell 7.5 crore shares. Now, what does the company do? Well, it's a telecom operator. They provide mobile services, but unlike a Bharti Airtel or Reliance Jio, Vodafone Idea, which is pan-India, this company provides telecom services only in two circles, Rajasthan and Northeast. In the Northeast, which includes all the states over there, the Seven Sisters, it's a market leader. Its market share stands at more than 50%. And in Rajasthan, it's the number 2 player with approximately a 40% market share. Now, quick word about the history of the company. How did Bharti come to have two different, telecom companies? Well, this company, Bharti Hexacom, was originally incorporated in 1995 as Hexacom India Limited. In 2004, its name was changed to Bharti Hexacom when Airtel acquired a majority stake. Now, because Airtel is also a separately listed company, this company, Bharti Hexacom, pays a management fee to Airtel for common marketing, administrative and personnel expenses, and this is amounting to about 1.7% of its revenues. Now, getting to the financials, right? Like, how much money does this company make? Well, the company's revenue growth has stood between 12.65% from FY21 to FY23. Last year, FY23, its top line was in excess of 6,500 crore. The big positive in the numbers, as you can see from the RHP, is the margin trajectory. Now, in 9 months, FY24, the company's margins were almost touching 50%. 49.35% to be precise, but go back in FY23 it was about 44%, FY22 it was 35%, and in FY21 it was 24%, which basically means from FY21 to 9 months of FY24 its margins have doubled. From 24%, we're talking about nearly 50% margin. So what's led to this sharp margin expansion? Well, it's a price hike. The company took a price hike about 2.5 years back, and that led to the margin expansion. Look at the ARPU numbers, the average revenue per user. It increased from 135 rupees in FY21 to 155 rupees in FY22 to 185 rupees in FY23, and in the 9 months ending December, the company's ARPUs, that's average revenue per user, stood at 197. Now, while the margin increase, you would say, is a big positive, but it also raises the risk that any telecom operator in India faces that right now, that price increases have been few and far between. The last price hike was nearly 2.5 years ago in November of 2021, and fortunes and the margins, the profits of these companies are tied to price hikes. Now, valuations of Bharti Hexacom, like getting to that important bit, they're not cheap, but they're not expensive also. It's trailing PE, that is price to earnings multiple, EPS, as of FY23 is about 11 times cheaper than Bharti Airtel, which is about 14 times on a consolidated basis. Also note that this company is present only in 2 circles. So the increase in customers for this company has been slow. And the metric that we're looking at here is the customer base. In millions, it's been fairly stagnant. FY21, the total number of customers it serviced was about 25 million. And that number has only increased to 26.8 million as of December of 2023. Not a big increase in the customer base, and that's because it services only 2 markets, Rajasthan and the Northeast. So the growth of this company is actually coming from upgrading the existing 2G subscribers to 4G subscribers. So are you interested in subscribing to this IPO? Do leave us your comments. Thank you for watching CNBC TV 18. For all our top stories and news updates, follow us on our social media platforms.